Well, it's Sunday morning, and I have a story that I'll try to get through without blubbering, but you can see that I've already been blubbering, so, anyway. So I've had this vulture 13 weeks. And I've never hacked a vulture before, and I was so worried about it. I was like, God, what am I going to do with this bird? Just a totally different hacking situation than raptors. But anyway, so he's been out. I started opening the door on him to, for like little day trips around the yard a couple of weeks ago. And then he's been out 24/7 for a little over a week now. And I've just been, really worried about how is this thing going to work out. And I had called my buddy Robbie that works for the sheriff's office here in Cherokee County to ask him if he'd bring me a dead deer. Because I thought maybe if I drag a dead deer into the yard, that would attract the other vultures and really piss off my neighbors, even though I don't have close neighbors. A dead deer stink carries a long way, and I figure my neighbors would end up in my driveway with torches and pitchforks. But anyway, so I had mentioned before, I think, I don't know if I mentioned it on Facebook or not, but two vultures had been visiting. And this was when he was still a little baby, I come out one day and there's two vultures on the roof of my house. This has been a couple of months ago, and I'm like, wow. And I just happened to have a thawed out rat that it was going to be for the baby, and I ended up I just opened up the back of it and threw it out in the yard, and they ate this rat. Anyway, and I've seen and they came back a few more times, and they just would hang out on the roof of my house, and then it got to the point where there was only one, and I think I took videotape. I don't know if I posted it to Facebook or not, but I'm out on my back deck and hear this wild vultures walking around on my deck railing within 4 feet of me. Obviously I couldn't touch him, and I even put food out for him that he didn't take. Anyway, so I've been so worried about this baby. So my friend Robert came by yesterday, and he'd been wanting to meet the baby, and I said, you're welcome to come over. I said, but he's not going to engage with you. I've had 3 people visit, and he just won't have anything to do with him. But anyway, Robert comes by, and then all of a sudden the 2 vultures come up. One's perched in a tree across the road, and the other's perched in a tree on the driveway, and they're both standing there looking at us. So we were being eaten by mosquitoes. So he was asking me about my new owl. So we went to visit the little owl, and then we went to the back to visit a little more, and I've got a little screen-in area in the back, so we weren't chewed on by the mosquitoes. And of course the baby comes back around the back of the house, and he's perched right behind me on the railing. There's just me and the screen between the baby, and Robert and I continued to chat, and then and then here come the 2 vultures. They light on the roof of the house, and they're loving on each other. So they're a mated pair. I mean, it's so beautiful to watch. It was just incredible. And Robert he had somebody else he had to meet, so he left, and I went in because I thought maybe they're here for him. This would have been a prayer answered, because I've been so worried about how to incorporate him into where am I going to find a flock of anyway. So I go in the house, and I come back out, and the 2 vultures are still on the roof. and the little baby's on the patio, just kind of standing there. And I go over to him and I pick him up. It's the first time I've ever, picked him up like a duck, just kind of held him next to me. And I held his beak and I kissed his head. I said, "Look, I think they're here for you. And it's okay to go. They'll show you what to do. And if you ever get in trouble, if you ever get hungry, you can come back here." So I just, I didn't think anything about it because he was having nothing to do with them. So I go in the house, and this was probably 4 o'clock because Robert had that next employment at 5. Maybe 4:15 I went in, and I didn't come back outside for the rest of the afternoon or evening. And I get up this morning, and he's gone. So we talk about just a little miracle for me because I was so worried about him and how I was going to finish this thing that I've never hacked before. So, and I hope he comes back to visit. Anyway, that's my Sunday morning story.